Today we'll be solving the numerical of pressure in fluids, part A. So let us start. A hammer exerts a force of 1.5 Newton on each of the two nails A and B. A hammer is there which is exerting a force of 1.5 Newton on both the nails A and B. The area of cross section of the tip of the nail A. The area of cross section of the tip of the nail A is 2 millimeter square, while that of the nail B is 6 millimeter square. Calculate the pressure on each nail in Pascal. First of all, force exerted is same in both the nails, that is 1.5 Newton. Area of cross section of the tip of the nail A has been given as 2 millimeter square. But we are knowing that whenever we are converting from millimeter to meter, for converting millimeter to meter, we multiply by 10 raised to minus 3. But it is millimeter square. As it is millimeter square, so it will be 10 raised to minus 3 square. So it will become on the basis of indices 3 2 is 6. So therefore we will be getting 10 raised to minus 6 meter square. So what is the area of cross section of the tip of the nail A? That is 2 into 10 raised to minus 6 millimeter square. Similarly, area of cross section of the tip of the nail B is 6 millimeter square. Again we will be doing the same. It will be 6 into 10 raised to minus 6 meter square. Now pressure on the nail A, pressure formula is what? Thrust upon area, means force upon area. Force is what? 1.5. Area is what? 2 into 10 raised to minus 6. This is the area of nail A. So if you divide 1.5 by 2, you will be getting 0.75. क्या मिलेगा? 0.75 into 10 raised to, this 10 raised to minus 6 is in the denominator. As soon as it goes to the numerator, we will be getting 0.75 into 10 raised to minus 6 Pascal. We can write this in this manner as well. We can shift 1 point and make it 7.5. As we have shifted 1 point, so we'll be subtracting 10 raised to 6 minus 1, so we'll be getting 10 raised to 5. So final answer we'll be getting 7.5 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal. Similarly, pressure on the nail B is the force upon area. Force is same 1.5. Area is what? 6 into 10 raised to minus 6. If you solve 1.5, if you divide 1.5 by 6, you will be getting 0.25 into 10 raised to 6. Again, we can shift one decimal. We will be getting 2.5 into 10 raised to 5 Pascal. We can leave the answer in whichever form we want. It is not that you should get the answer only this one only. And it is not necessary to get the answer in like this only. Even if you leave the answer in terms of fraction, then also it will do. Means if I am getting 55 upon 100, I can leave it by that way also. Only if it is of pressure, only have to write a specific unit. You can write Pascal. Means 55 upon 100 Pascal. Then also you will be getting right. Okay. Let's move for the next one. A block of iron of mass 7.5 kg. A block is there of iron which is 7.5 kg, and its dimension has been given, that is 20 centimeter into 8 centimeter into 10 centimeter. Is kept on the tabletop. Okay, it is a block and 12 centimeter into 8 centimeter is towards its base, means it is touching towards the base. We have to calculate first of all thrust, then pressure. And okay, so what we'll be doing, first of all we will be calculating the thrust over here. We are knowing we are sitting or we are standing. Whenever we will be standing, what we will be doing, we will be exerting weight in a downward direction. That weight is also called as thrust because it is always perpendicular, which we have seen on the last period. So F can be written as m into g. What is mass given? 7.5, and g is not been specified, so we will be taking 10 only. So 7.5 into 10, we will be getting 75 Newton. Pressure, now we have to calculate pressure. We are knowing that pressure is force upon area or thrust upon area. We have already calculated thrust in the previous one. So pressure can be written as 75 upon area. Now area, whatever dimension is towards the base, we have to take that. If you read the question, what is it? What dimension is towards the base? 12 centimeter into 88 centimeter. Okay, but it has been given in centimeter, so you have to convert centimeter to meter. So I have written over here directly centimeter to meter. That is 10 raised to minus 2. It is for 12, and then again 8 centimeters is there. So again I have written 8 into 10 raised to minus 2. If you solve it, you will be getting the answer as 7812.5 Pascal. Third one, a vessel contains a water up to a height of 1.5 meter. Vessel is having a water in it up to the height of 1.5 meter. Density of water has been given. It is not 103, it is 10 raised to 3 kg per meter cube. Acceleration due to gravity, they have asked us to take us the value as 9.8 meter per second square. Area of the base of the vessel is 100 centimeter square. We have to calculate the pressure and thrust at the base of the vehicle. So first of all, what we'll be doing, we are knowing the value of H, that is 1.5 meter. Density of water is 10 raised to 3 kg per meter cube. Acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square. Area of cross section of the base, area of the base, what area towards the base has been given, that is 100 centimeter. So we have to convert centimeter to meter. For converting centimeter to meter, it is 10 raised to minus 2, but over here it is centimeter square, so it will be 10 raised to minus 2 whole square. So we will be getting 10 raised to minus 4. So therefore over here area of the base of the vessel is 100 into 10 raised to minus 4 meter square. Pressure is what? P is equals to H rho G. What is H over here? 1.5. Rho is what? 1000, means 10 raised to 3 into 9.8. After calculating, you will be getting the answer as 1.47 into 10 raised to 4 Newton per meter square. Okay, next one, what they have asked, thrust. We are knowing that pressure is thrust upon area. So thrust can be written as pressure into area. That's what has been written. Pressure we have already calculated, that is 1.47 into 10 raised to 4. And area towards the base is what? 100 into 10 raised to 4, minus 4. Plus 4 and minus 4 will get cancelled. Ultimately, we'll be getting 1.47 into 100. So the answer will be 147 Newton. Next one, area of the base of the cylindrical vessel. Area of the base of the cylindrical vessel is 300 centimeter square. Water's density has been given, that is 1000 or 10 raised to 3 kg per meter cube. Is poured into a vessel which is of depth of 6 centimeter. Its depth is what? 6 centimeter. We have to calculate the pressure and thrust of the water towards the base. G they have asked us to take as 10 meter per second square. Area towards the base is 300 centimeter square. Again it is centimeter square into meter square, so we are writing over here directly 10 raised to minus 4. Density of liquid 1000 has been given. Depth they have given us 6 centimeter. Again centimeter to meter, we can multiply by 10 raised to minus 2 or we can divide it by 100. So ultimately we'll be getting 0.06 meter. Acceleration, they have asked us to take the value of 10 meter per second square. Now we are knowing pressure is H rho G. So H is what? 0.06. Rho is what? Density of liquid, that is 100. G is what? 10. After substituting the values, you will be getting the answer as 600 Pascal. Next one, thrust is pressure into area. Pressure is what? 600. Area is what? 300 into 10 raised to minus 4. After solving, you will see that all zeros will get cancelled because over here 4 zeros are there and it is 10 raised to minus 4 as well. So it is ultimately 6 threes, that is 18 Newton. Next one, calculate the height of the water column which will exert on its base the same pressure as that of the 70 coulomb of mercury. You have to try to understand this question first of all. We have already studied that if we take a container of a water and if we take another container of a container containing mercury, we will see that mercury will exert same pressure at a lower depth, whereas water will exert same pressure at a higher depth. Why water will exert same pressure at a higher depth? Because water's density is less. As water's density is less, so water will require more amount of liquid column, whereas as mercury's density is more, so mercury will exert same pressure at smaller height. Okay, because pressure is what? H rho G. If rho increases, pressure will also increase. Similarly, it is happening for mercury. Mercury's density of the liquid is greater, so pressure is will be exerted at a lesser height, whereas in water, as density is less, so pressure will be exerted at a higher height. Okay, same pressure. So density of mercury, we will be considering it as a rho dash, that is 13.6 gram per centimeter cube. Height of the mercury column, that has been given, H dash is equal to 70 centimeter. Acceleration due to gravity, G is what? 9.8 meter per second square. H we have to calculate the height of the water column, that we have to calculate. Density of water, rho, is 1 gram per centimeter. Now we are knowing that pressure exerted by the mercury column will be equal to the pressure exerted by the water column. Only we have to calculate the height of the water column. So pressure exerted by a mercury column can be written as H dash rho dash G is equals to H rho G, where H dash is the height of the mercury column, rho dash is the density of the mercury, G is acceleration due to gravity, which is there in both the sides, so it will get cancelled. Only H is what? Height of the water column, and rho is what? Density of water. So we have to calculate H. Ultimately, rho will be G will be going in the denominator, and G will get cancelled. So ultimately, formula will be H is equals to rho dash H dash upon rho. Rho dash density of mercury is what? 13.6. H height of mercury is what? 70. After multiplying this two, you will be getting the answer as 952 centimeter. So it can be written as 9.52 meter. Next one, what will be the height of the water column in part A? Change of the cross sectional of the water column is made wider. If the water column is made wider, will the height of the water column change? No, it will not change. It will remain the same. Next one, the pressure on the water. The pressure of water on the ground floor is 40,000 Pascal, and that of the first floor is 10,000 Pascal. Means pressure at the ground floor is greater than the pressure at the first floor. We have to find the height of the first floor. Okay, density of water has been given 1000 gram per centimeter cube per meter cube. Acceleration due to gravity, they have asked us to take the value of 10. Density of water has been given 1000 gram per centimeter cube. Acceleration they have asked us. We have to find out H. What is the height of ground floor to first floor? We have to find out. So we are knowing that difference in water pressure between the ground floor and the first floor can be written as H rho G. Okay. Difference in pressure means what? 40,000 minus 10,000 is equals to H into 1000 into 10. After calculating, we'll be getting the height as 3 meter. This is a principle of hydraulics. We have not done any sort of this thing explanation in your theory because it is not there in your syllabus, but we'll be solving some numericals based on this concept. So try to understand. You can see this arrow downwards. This arrow downwards, you can see its area is very less as compared to arrow upwards. You can see this relation as well. The area in which car has been kept, it is considered as A2. A2's area is 10 times bigger than A1's area. So therefore it has been written A2 is equals to A1 into 10. So wherever the arrow is downwards, over there very small amount of force is required to lift a heavy car. Okay. Actually in both the cases, both are at same level. Both the piston are at same level. So pressure, whatever will be given input, pressure input will be equal to pressure output. Based on it, there is principle of hydraulics. We will be solving numericals now. Okay, let's proceed. In a hydraulic machine, a force of 2 Newton is applied on a piston of area of cross section 10 centimeter square. Means whatever force we are applying, that is 2 Newton, which is applied on a smaller piston of 10 centimeter square. What force is obtained on a piston of an cross sectional area of 100 centimeter square? Means whenever we are applying a force of 2 Newton at a cross sectional area of 10 centimeter square, then the cross-sectional area of 100 centimeter square will move upwards with what force? That we have to calculate. Okay, A1 has been given, A2 has been given, F1 has also been given. We have to find out F2. So by the principle of hydraulic machines, pressure on the narrow piston is equal to pressure on the wider piston. So F1 upon A1 is equal to F2 upon A2. F1 is what? 2. A1 is what? 10. F2 we are not knowing. We will be writing as it is. F2 upon 100. So after calculating, we will be getting the answer. F2 is equals to 20 Newton. Next one, area of the piston of a hydraulic machines has been given 5 centimeter square, 625 centimeter square. Now 5 centimeter square is a input pistons area, and 625 centimeter square is output pistons area. What force must be applied to a smaller piston? We have to find out what force should we apply to a smaller piston, which will support a load of 125 Newton on a larger piston. Means 1250 Newton load has been kept at a larger piston. We have to move this upwards. For moving it upwards, what force we want to provide it, that we have to find out. State assumptions as well. Area of a smaller piston, A1 is 5 centimeter square. Area of a wider piston, A2 is 625 centimeter square. Force on a smaller piston is written as F1. Force on a wider piston, F2 is 1250 Newton. According to principle of hydraulics, what we get, pressure on the narrow piston is equals to pressure on the wider piston. F1 upon A1 is equals to F2 upon A2. So F1 we have to calculate, we will be writing as it is. F1 upon 5 is equals to 125 upon F625. After calculating, we will be getting this answer as 10 Newton. What assumptions we will be assuming? That there is no friction between the pistons movement, as well as there is no leakage of liquid happening. Means whatever liquid is taken in a hydraulic machine, that liquid will never move out, as well as there will be no friction also taking place during the movement of the piston. Next one, which will be solving the numerical of hydraulic brakes. So try to understand this hydraulic brakes as well. You might be knowing, whenever a vehicle has been for stopping the vehicle, we apply this brake, and this brake is called hydraulic brakes. There is fluid inside. Try to understand, there is a foot pedal you can see in the diagram. Foot pedal is connected to a master cylinder, and master cylinder is connected to a wheel cylinder. First of all, when the brake is not been put, then all the oil is there in the master cylinder. As soon as we put the pedal with the help of our leg, what happens? All the oil from the master cylinder moves to the wheel cylinder. So first of all, master cylinder's area and wheel cylinder's area will be taken into consideration. Okay, you will see that master cylinder's area is quite huge as compared to wheel cylinder. So let us start. Wheel cylinder is connected to each and every pedal. We are talking about over your four-wheeler. Let us proceed. What should be the ratio of the cross section of the master cylinder and wheel cylinder of a hydraulic brake, so that a force of 15 Newton can be obtained on each of this brake shoe by exerting a force of 0.5 Newton on a pedal? Over here, we want to find the ratio of master cylinder to wheel cylinder. We have to find the area. Over here, we are applying hydraulic brakes force. We are applying brakes of 0.5 Newton on the pedal. As we are applying brakes of 0.5 Newton on the pedal, the vehicle is coming to a halt by a force of 15 Newton. We are applying a force of 0.5 Newton, and vehicle is coming to a rest by a force of 15 Newton. Okay, so force on a pedal, F1 is 0.5 Newton. Force on the brake shoe, that is 15 Newton. By principle of hydraulics, by principle of hydraulic machines, pressure on the narrow piston is equals to pressure on the wider piston. So it can be written as F1 upon A1 is equals to F2 upon A2. We have to find out the ratios of the area. So we'll be taking force on one side and area on another side. So it can be written as F1 upon F2 is equals to A1 upon A2. So A1 upon A2 is equals to 0.5 upon 15. If you solve it, you will be getting 1 upon 30. So the required ratio of master cylinder to wheel cylinder is 1 upon 1:30.